Pecha Kucha 111, Fury and Comic Tropes. So apologies in advance, I have a cold. I'll try not I'll try not to cough and splutter all over everybody, but no fucking promises. So I'm reading some nice comics. We're going to talk about them. Yeah, comics is the theme. Isn't that great? Fury, My War Gone By is it's about the old Nick Fury who's white. He's recounting stories from Vietnam and afterwards. It's part of the Max Comics line, which was where the Punisher lived for a while. Explicit content, swearing, nudity, and violence. And this is like the first double page spread. Nick Fury's giving a monologue into like a tape recorder, and he swears like a trooper. It's difficult to be sure if this is mature or if this is juvenile, because you know swearing is great until you overdo it, and now you just look childish. I'm on both sides of the fence. I love it either way. The artwork is very functional. It's not precious, much like the kind of it kind of mirrors the narrative. It's about hard men doing hard things. On this page, some of the leaves are like inked, and you can see where the pen touched the paper, and it's left like a splotch. Uh, yeah, Nick Fury's a man in love with war, like the Punisher. This is him meeting like a Vietnamese rival, and they were clearly trying to kill each other. They didn't, and in the end, they shake hands a few decades later. It's a very bizarre, surreal instance, but it kind of shows how nobody really knows right from wrong in the long run. And something worth noting is that Nick Fury has stogies in his mouth all the time. Marvel Comics famously stopped its comic book characters smoking at some point in the past, way before Disney got involved. And I don't imagine that we're going to see an awful lot of that again. So yeah, I did a bit of actual comics myself with a biro on some crappy newsprint paper. I had a lot of fun. It's terrible, but I had a lot of fun. This is something I clearly need to do regularly, and I should think about streaming. This would be a great thing to turn into like a social event. So Comic Tropes is a YouTube channel where some guy just talks about comic tropes. Steve Dicto, one of the co-creators of Spider-Man, is a very interesting fellow who had a very black and white sense of morality, and I learned that from watching this Comic Tropes video, which is very interesting, and I saw it just after playing the new Spider-Man game. He's one of the ones that's educated me the most is his one on Greg Land, who not only copies his own old work, but has a tendency to trace porn stars and stuff when he draws pretty women. Controversial and therefore very entertaining. Is he right? Is he wrong? Well, we don't have time for that. This one about Justice League International, I had no interest in the matter, so watching this was purely informative. And Comic Tropes is just a YouTube channel that is making me more knowledgeable about the thing I should probably know the most about. All right. So I got asked to do a logo that looked a little bit something like this Gymshark logo, the very kind of clean one, the negative shape, the negative space head shape, not the massive circular muscular dude, not the street shark. But there was a lot of umming and ahhing, so I tried to send some random stuff on Google to the guy, so I'd like to create a mood board so I could get a sense of what it was he was after, and he kind of ignored it and sidestepped the issue. It's very difficult trying to work with people in logo design when they won't tell you what they're after. So it was the same guy for the Sparrowhawk design from the last time. He basically wanted the Gymshark thing, but with a Sparrowhawk. So this is really beyond me. I tried to like abstractify and then simplify. Just Manga Studio, messing around just with different brushes. Then I went into Illustrator, tried to figure out how to clean them up. But I'm really not the kind of guy that gets clean artwork like that, especially minimalist, single color, strong, dynamic compositions. It's really not my thing. I think the penny dropped there, and we kind of both walked away from it. I saw this on YouTube. Some guy in the 70s in a TV studio talking about he's killed 38 people. It could be real. It might not be. I know that people in the 70s did actually do interviews, but in balaclavas like Iceberg Slim. I think that's his name, famously did it. And I'm finished watching The Wire. Uh, it's difficult to talk about without spoiling it, but yeah, I see why people call it one of the greatest TV shows ever made, because it's not just entertaining, it's like a cultural satire kind of thing. Because it looks at the police in Baltimore, and then it looks at the criminals, and in the second season, it goes to the Baltimore docks. So you have like a rotating cast per season, and all of these people are interesting in their own rights. Some come, some go. Some characters never interact with each other. It feels very much like real life. Season 4 is a highlight because they go into the school system in Baltimore, and my God, what a mess. The thing with The Wire is you don't know how much of it is like artistic license and how much of it is researched specifically. But as a TV show, it just shows that America's got issues. And of course, it's entertaining as fuck. The final season, they go to a newspaper. The final season feels a bit more TV-like than the rest of them, a bit more superfluous for reasons I won't go into because they're spoilers. But it's still the Wire starts strong and ends strong. Right, so sad clown of the week is the Blizzard for their announcement of Diablo Infinite or whatever the hell it's called. At BlizzCon, they decided to tell a room full of hardcore PC gamers that their next main intellectual property is going to be for the mobile phone market. To say the response was frosty, I've never heard a crowd of gamers at a public event simply not respond to an announcement that is supposed to like bolster financial interest in a company. -5 stars, Blizzard, -5 stars. That brings us to the end of Pecha Kucha 111, and I'll see you next time.